Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. After a little bit of hiccups and a little bit of internal delays in the background, we are happy to say WCCS Round 4 is now live and kicking. We're about to go trackside in Saudi Arabia for the fourth round, and in the commentary box, I am joined by the one and only Omi. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Sappy. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to this here at Jeddah. Hopefully, it's going to be an exciting race. But yeah, I'm doing well. You doing well?
Doing pretty well myself, gotta say. Interesting to see what these drivers can do. It is going to be something a little bit different because I'm going to be, well, say I didn't have a chance to join last time, and I understand that you were with another good friend of ours at JPB. You were with Nathan. So how did that go last time out? You might have to give us a little bit of a recap before we jump in.
Yep. There was plenty of action at the first stage. We saw plenty. The race, the gaps at a few times they were close, but then of course they were really separated. And then it was one of those quiet races near in the second half after the pit stops. But hopefully we're at Jeddah. You've got 3 DRS zones, so hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of attacking and possibly more overtaking than we managed to get last time out.
Yeah, well, so we've got 7 cars who have joined the track, and we are about to go trackside with them. So it is going to be a case of questioning who you're going to have your eyes on, who is going to be the driver to watch. And as we jump into the quali, let's see what these folks here can do.
Yep, indeed as well. So we currently have Shane on an out lap. So is Knights as well. So both of those drivers making their way on out laps. So they'll be getting ready to push. And then we're also going to have Not Vessel out there as well. So they're going to be looking to get a good first lap on the board as well. So let's see how they're going to be able to get on around the 27 turns of the Jeddah Core Neutral Circuit. Hopefully we're going to have a close qualifying session. I would say Portugal was close at times. We fully couldn't say who was going to be on pole, so that was enjoyable. So let's hope that today it can be even closer with one extra driver as well.
We can see some of the cars starting to come out now. You've got 3 on track, 4 remain in the pits. You got Shane, Kronk, and Vessel, all sort of predominantly running black as their base colour, so the timing tower looking a little bit ambiguous. But first one who's going to be out today is going to be Kronk. Let's see what he can do. I know he's streaming, so much love to you, friend, and to his Twitch chat if they do happen to pop their heads over here. Now, first couple of corners is going to immediately find a little bit of a problem in the form of some traffic, but let's see if he can navigate it quite nicely. Coming first couple of corners, relatively little issue. Sees the other driver, that's going to be Johnny's Bananas. He is going to be coming out of the way, making sure that he's not going to get himself into any trouble. Now, coming to the end of the first sector, it's a tight double right-hander before switching it back to the left. A little bit of chicanery before you end the sector. 33.3, looking on pretty good form. Now, banked long left-hander, you can lean into the car quite a bit and get a lot of grip, meaning that you can throttle out quite nicely. As we head to the second sector here, it's a left and a right, then a left, and then you slow right down for a tight chicane before you get back on the power. You open up the wings, you got another DRS zone just here. You can see easily excess of 200 miles an hour as we come to the final sector. It's 102.1 so far. Kronk is going to be the one to set the benchmark as the first driver out, and then you've got a couple more cars who are going to be following suit. So everyone is out with the exception of Rare Ghost on this track. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line.
Let's see then what he's going to be able to do. Indeed, Knights out of the final corner then, and then we'll bring it up through the gears now, and we'll send it over the line with DRS open, and we'll set the time for the other 6 drivers in the field to be. It's a 1 minute 29.867. Let's see what Shane is going to be able to do in response then, as he's now going to tackle the 27th and final turn of this circuit. We'll get on the power then. Doesn't get too close to the wall on the outside. And now let's see if he can go ahead of Knights. How close can he get? Can he beat it? As he comes over the line, he can beat it. And it's a 1 minute 27.853. So a whole second quicker there for Shane.
And a really good run that was. He linked it up, good amount of pace. We've got Vessel, I think is going to be the next driver to watch. As we can see, he's going to be coming up to the final corner now as well. Yellow briefly coming out. I believe that is going to be one of the cars who not long came out. Maybe Shaniac or Delta Wolf. Let's see in a minute. But eyes on Vessel now. Unfortunately, he's not quite going to link up the pace. He's not going to have that same amount of speed as we thought he would. And it is going to result in him only getting a 32.8. Couple more drivers who have started runs, and a few more drivers who are coming to the midpoint. James Bananas, for instance, 33.1 on the first sector. Looking to keep some good pace, 101.6 on sector 2, and let's see if he can keep it clean and bring it home.
Let's see if he's going to be able to keep it clean and bring it home indeed then. So this is going to be interesting to see as well, as Johnny's Bananas is making his way through with DRS as well into the final corner now. Oh, he's hit the wall slightly on the inside, but he'll continue going then. And we'll now open DRS. We'll see what he can do as he comes over the line. He goes onto the front row, goes into second position, and he's just under 1 second slower than Shane.
And you got a couple more drivers. Speaking of, say, Shaniac is coming up to the second sector here, putting on some good form. You got also Delta Wolf, who's coming up to the final couple of corners. Let's stick on board with them and see what they can do here. Pace is looking fairly good for the black and red car, so fully adorned in the Sauber colours. And let's see what he can do. So coming up to the line here, 128.8 to beat. Looking on a fairly good pace, and a 128.1, really good speed coming out of Delta Wolf here. He's going to be topping the timesheets. Couple more cars now. That's going to be Shaniac coming around the final corner, keeps it clean. Looks like it's also going to be a fairly decent run, but not on the 128s as he would have hoped. It's going to be a 129.8. Though curiously, Rare Ghost in the pits. No time so far.
Yeah, so he's deciding to still sit in the pit lane. So he is not coming out onto the circuit as of yet. So we've had everyone but him who has set a lap time around this circuit. It's Delta Wolf who is at the front of the field, Shane in P2, and then you have Johnny's Bananas, and then Shaniac Knights, and then Not Wrestle, who is still going to be looking for a lap that is much more tidy. As you can see, it was 1 minute 32.879, few seconds slower than Knight's lap time, which is the next car ahead of him. So Rare Ghost, when he comes out on the circuit, will be interesting to see where he slots in as well. But just under 11 minutes to go in this session, and already we're starting to see the lap times come in, and Knights has come over the line to go into P3.
Knights is going to be one who I'm personally going to have an eye on, because Knights, aka Kronk, is going to be... Well, they've certainly come in with some good expectations here in this race. I know that they were doing iRacing as well. They're grinding out sort of the iRacing licenses. They've been working towards that, and it's always good to see people who are willing to sort of spread their wings a bit in the sim racing space. And I know there's quite a prolific driver in that space. But when you see drivers who also do like iRacing or Assetto Corsa Competizione, you see them come over to the likes of F1 and you see them try out different games, it's always a different experience. And certainly I'm all for drivers who are multidiscipline, because it just gives you more options, and the level of intensity, like this isn't as intense of an experience as iRacing, but it's still different. You can get a lot more enjoyment out of it when you come in with a different mindset, and it's different to a lot of simulators. I say F1, it has carved its own little niche out.
It definitely has indeed. So definitely a lot of drivers driving around in many different types as well, and
Rego's
definitely
hitting
can
the
make
wall,
them a
though.
complete driver. Yep.
He just lost an end plate, so he's not going to be able to get a good quality lap on this run, or certainly not one that's going to be indicative of pace. Unfortunate for him there.
Yep, unfortunate for him there indeed. So that's not what you want at as you are getting ready for your qualifying run as well. So
There's
Regos
a
then.
lot of front wings coming out there. That's another car.
Yeah.
That, I believe, was Delta Wolf completely missing the wing.
Yeah, so it seems like they're all pushing and damaging the front wings as well right now. But Rego seems like he is going to still try and attack. He's very wide into turn one, not a surprise. But it seems like he's going to still try and attack this circuit and see what lap time he can get on the board.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to have Rare Ghost have a little bit of an issue in the fact that he is missing an end plate, and that is, of course, going to result in him having a lot less grip than he really should have, especially around Jeddah. It is known for being quite brutal on those who have aerodynamic damage in any way. So, despite getting a personal purple best and going off a track, I believe the track limits are a little bit more relaxed in this series, but that doesn't change the fact that he's still going to be running very suboptimally compared to a fully complete car. You see right there, he bows out over the edge.
Yep, indeed. So with the front wing not getting the downforce that he needs to be able to make the corners in the way that he wants to, in the speed, using the speed as well through the corners. He's running wide everywhere.
Oh, he's invalidated.
Yep, that's invalidated. So, yep, he probably should have just come into the pit lane and saved time there, really. It's not really worked out at all for him. And with front wing damage, it's very hard to do a lap, especially around this, okay, because of how high speed it is.
Shaniak's out! He just went out at Sector 3, so that is unfortunate for him there. He just outbraked himself, took way too deep into the corner, and yeah, unfortunate to see from him there. We've got a couple more cars who are starting laps now. Vessel is now starting a lap, but he gets very tail happy coming out of turn 2.
He does indeed. So let's see what Vessel is going to be able to do. He'll be chasing a lap time that can get him onto the back of all of the other drivers as well, as you can see with a 1 minute 32.879, but he's all over the road, and he's lifting off everywhere, so I don't think this will be a major improvement at all for him. But he's still improving by 10, so I think he made mistakes, a lot of mistakes then in his first lap, but I don't think it will be if this lap continues like this, I don't think it will be anywhere near the next driver, which is Johnny's Bananas, who currently sits in P5.
Oh, and he has invalidated through that second sector there, so he's gonna back off. And yeah, a few drivers are making some big waves. So Shaniak, unfortunate for him, because he's P3 in this session at best. Currently at the top of the championship, according to the stats that I've been sent. And it's not a position you want to be in. You want to be fighting and ready, and even if you don't get a better quali lap, you want to use the time that you have effectively as free practice.
Yep, you absolutely do indeed as well. Just under 6 minutes to go on the clock. You have Shane currently making his way through to the final corner on this circuit. Let's see what he's going to be able to do then over the line. Let's see if we can try get ahead of Delta Wolf or try close down the gap. He closes down the gap, so it's 1 minute 28.235. So that's much more closer, and it's less than a tenth between the top two right now in this session.
Yeah, well, he's really done a good job there. He has made the lap work, but that .179 is just right in his fingertips, and he's just not grasping it. Unfortunate to see that he hasn't got that pace fully unlocked yet, but there is still 5 minutes to go, so all is not lost. There is still opportunity for him to bring this back, and at only half a tenth, it's not impossible. It may be difficult to scrape out some pace because he's shown some really good pace in Sector 2 in particular. But yeah, to say there is room for improvement there. Theoretical best is a 127.9 if we take all the best sectors. So Shaniak had the best Sector 1. Shane had the best Sector 2. You got Kronk coming through, making a 128.6 and making a very nice consistent time. So he's going to put himself in the podium spots, display Shaniak down to P4. And then Delta Wolf with the best final sector, although it looks like in this run at least, he's significantly off the pace. Second down.
Yep, absolutely. Indeed, right now. So it's Knights who's in P3 then. Johnny's Bananas and Not Wrestle all in the pit lane. Rare Ghost making his way through, but he's almost losing the car there, almost spinning it into the wall once again. So he's really struggling to keep this car pointing right now in a straight line.
Yeah, and this track in particular is very punishing to get wrong, especially if you overcook or undercook an input. You can see how he's sort of trying to balance the inputs as he goes over the curbs, And you have to be more progressive and smooth on this track, I'd say, than any other on the calendar. Just because there is so many tight sort of high speed left, right, chicanes, backing off before accelerating for almost 20 seconds at a time. This track is punishing, and you have to be very precise and gradual with your inputs, something that I'm not sure Rare Ghost is having the best time with right now.
Yep, don't think Rare Ghost right now is having a good time at all. Of course, in the first run, he damaged his foot. We're going to have to set a lap time with that, and he couldn't because he invalidated due to how many times he went over the white line. Now it seems like a very scruffy lap where he's been fighting the car all the way through the first and second sector. Now he's in the third sector. He's keeping his foot flat to the floor, then down towards 27, and we'll see if he's able to get a stable exit out of here. It seems like he's been able to compare to what we've seen earlier on in the lap. Let's see what Rare Ghost can get for his first lap time as he comes over the line.
1:31. And while not the timing that he would have maybe expected, considering he is fourth in the championship right now, it's put him on the boards. And by nature of that, he's automatically got more of a fighting chance. He's ahead of Vessel with a 32.8. Vessel hasn't seemed to have made much of a meaningful improvement. Someone who is improving right now seems to be Kronk. aka Knights, 128.6, but is a tenth and a half down in the first sector. I wonder if they're going to keep this momentum as we come up to the chicane here. Next detection point, and then the DRS zone at the end of the sector. Let's see how he can make this lap work. Now coming up to the corner that infamously took Shaniak out of this quali. He has dropped down in the second sector. He hasn't put down the same level of pace, but he's keeping it smooth, keeping it consistent. Maybe he can make it up in the last couple of corners.
Let's see then what Kronk can do then in the last corner on the circuit then. As he gets on the brakes, he'll navigate through 27. He's kept it very nice through 27. Let's see now what he can do. As he's come over the line, nope, we're not going to be able to see that because he's going to abort that lap time and come into the pit lane.
I know he came off of a lap just prior, so I was curious if he was going to go for a double push, if he maybe wasn't looking at peak pace but just knew that he had something on tap. Unfortunately, this is going to mean that everyone in the pits at this point is going to be out of the running. You have got a couple other drivers, though, who still have got statements to make. Ghost into the pits now after his run there. So the only people who are really going to have a meaningful opportunity to get a lap done is going to be Johnny's Bananas and Vessel.
Yep, absolutely. As well, and you can see Johnny Bananas seems like he's coming to the end of his push lap, so let's see what he can do at the end of qualifying then, as he'll come over the line. Currently sitting in P5. Can he get into P4? It's an improvement of time but not position.
Well, just a half a tenth shy of getting that P4 spot, so I do feel for him there. But unfortunately, the improvement he made was just not enough. Not Vessel now. Last driver who's going to set a time, and immediately he's going to be slapped with an invalidation. He just takes it a bit too much through the first sector. No doubt he's going to be angry about that one.
Yep, he's going to be absolutely fuming with that one as well. So he will not be happy at all with the invalidation. He knew that possibly if he could have found a lap, he could have gained a position if he could get a lap together. But that won't be the case for him due to that invalidation.
Yeah, but now as a final 10 seconds dropping off to the clock, as a Rare Ghost retiring out from the session, knowing that he hasn't got a quali left in him anymore. P6 is where he's going to stay. Top three drivers are going to have checkered flag fall, and then everyone else is going to be sort of making their way back to the pit lane. Johnny's Bananas and Not Vessel, they've both just got to make their way back at this point. Put in a good run.
They do as well. Yep, absolutely. They just have to now bring it back to the pit lane, and then we will get the racing underway as well. So let's see then. Vessel's going to be coming in as well, and Johnny's Bananas down by 1 second. He'll just cross the line and finish it like that. But overall, 9/10 back. But yep, that is a qualifying session, and Delta Wolf able to take pole. Shane in second. Was close between those two drivers.
I say we've got a tale of pairs. We've got two pairs who are really close to each other in this session. You had Delta Wolf and Shane Richard, 128.1 and a 128.2, about half a tenth apart. And then you look a bit further down, you've also got Shaniak and Johnny's Bananas, also about half a tenth apart. In fact, give or take a couple of milliseconds, the gap between P1 and 2 and P4 and 5 is exactly the same. So no doubt we're going to see a little bit of battling and hopefully, say, a little bit of on-track action this evening. As you can see right there, there is your final timing board. 128.1 for Delta Wolf is going to see him take top spot alongside Shane Richard in the front row. Kronk and Shaniac taking row 2. Johnny's Bananas, Rare Ghost taking row 3. And then P7, rounding out the field, is Not Vessel with a 32.8. I wonder if he just had the pace in him, but didn't get a chance to put a lap together. That's what it feels like.
Definitely could have been the case. The drivers, of course, limited to 3 runs in the session and don't really have too much time as well to find those lap times as well, especially if they are making mistakes in the first few. So let's see in the race. Of course, it's over 25 laps that we will be debating who's going to take victory over, and most likely from the evidence it will be between the top 2, and then possibly some other drivers could try get involved as well. But I think we're going to be in for hopefully what will be an exciting race then, as we load in and get ready then to get going here.
Let's see what these drivers are going to do, how they're going to pull it together, how they're going to pull it through. And we're getting a little bit of communication from some of the drivers here. Apparently, a few of them didn't really get the opportunities they would have liked. So we've got Kronk saying he had a purple sector 1 and clipped the wall, which ruined his lap. And then you had Rare Ghost saying he didn't have the time to put in a good one. So obviously some drivers are going to be coming into this race with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Obviously not being where they'd like to be. But let's see how they can convert that pace into the race, because that's really what matters here. It's about how you can take your quali situation and convert that into meaningful points.
That is definitely going to be the case indeed. So maybe we'll be seeing some fightbacks from certain drivers in the field who will be looking to make plenty of overtakes. And we're about to actually get underway.
And here we go then, folks. So we jump on board, we jump trackside, and the track is hot here in round 4. Immediately, we are going to have a getaway. It's going to be a good run for Shane, but Kronk is going to have an excellent start. He's going to immediately get alongside the Chrome car. He's going to have to bow out and go back to P3, and now Johnny's Bananas is going to be taking a bit of an opportunity of his own. He's quite close to the wall, gets squeezed against the wall. Not ideal from him. He has the soft tire. He needs to capitalize on the grip, and he hasn't had the opportunity to do so yet. Let's see the massive variation in tire strategy: 2 medium, 4 soft, 1 hard, and that means there's going to be fights coming all around the field as people get their tires into the ideal states and really push.
Absolutely as well. So interesting start to the Rainiac on the soft, and Shane has lost the car on the hard compound of tires. So he is spun and is going to be now at the back of the field. Unfortunate for him as Johnny's Bananas tries to make his way to virtual safety car, though, is out.
Yep, and so VSC is going to be coming out in full force, so respect the deltas, dial it back a bit. So a couple of big winners and losers here. Obviously, you had Johnny's Bananas, who had a good start, but has now been forced behind Shaniac following a little bit of on-track fighting. Delta Wolf has made a big sort of swing, but has had to concede it. So he's now dropped back to right in front, where he did have a few seconds ahead prior to the VSC.
Yep, he did indeed as well then, and we currently are just waiting to get back going as well. They need to be careful that they're in the green when the virtual safety car's coming on, or they will get a drive-through penalty. So they have to be careful about that and try time it to perfection. Don't get caught out, and then also you want to be going on the attack as Johnny's Bananas diving it into the pit lane. So maybe he might have got some damage where he was pinched at the wall at turn 4.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got some damage. You saw how close they got at turn 4 and how he really had to sort of squeeze in there. So speeding in the pit lane is going to see Shane Richard take a 5-second penalty. Although curiously, no front wing change. So not actually damage, but switching the strategy. Maybe circumventing the 2 compound rule. And then you have 2 drivers get a VSC drive-through penalty. That's going to be Rare Ghost and Not Vessel. So they are both going to be out of luck here. And that is a brutal thing to slap onto anyone's race.
Unsure what's happened to Kronk there. He was right on the back on the virtual safety car, then just lifted off and also had to cut the corner there. So
Maybe
unsure.
the Delta.
Yeah, maybe was the Delta in deed as well right at the end. We did see Vessel pick up the virtual. He picked up the drive through as well for speeding under virtual safety car. So they're all still battling their way through, but Kronk and Shaniac on the soft are both going to try and put some pressure on Delta Wolf, who is on the medium. It depends if they can get close, though, because it seems like right now it does seem pretty equalized between those drivers. But Rare Ghost, after Shaniac's made a mistake, is about to make the move now down towards 27.
Here you can see Shaniac goes to the inside. He sees the opponent really closing in on his rear view. So looking for space. Rare Ghost is going to try and get around this other car. Now, luckily, no DRS as of yet, so Shaniac isn't going to be panicking per se. But Rare Ghost, curiously, he's heading into the pits. So DRS now available. Rare Ghost into the pits. Vessel also into the pits. Not really sure what's going on and some of the strategy considerations by some of these guys, because it seems very early and with no damage to boot.
Yep, so some of these drivers then pitting, and I think that may have also been some drive-throughs being served there
yes,
as well. Yeah, so of course they're going to pit later on when they do need to pit for their new set of compound of tires, but of course some drivers picking up drive-through penalties, which is what they had to serve over there. But lap number 3 out of 25, and it seems like we've already got some gaps starting to form. Then is 2.8 seconds between your race leader Delta Wolf and Kronk, who currently runs in second. So 2.7 seconds, so he's lost 7 tenths overall since we last checked in, with the gap when it was 2 seconds earlier on.
Well, Kronk should be hopefully closing in because he has got the soft compounded tyre. We are seeing it on the interval that he is clawing Delta Wolf in. But the question is how Delta Wolf is currently handling the situation, and more specifically, how hard he's pushing. If he's yielding, going for a bit more of a tyre conservation strategy, then he can see, saying that though, big mistake on that last corner. He goes into the inside wall, just a bit too early on the throttle, I think, and that has given an opportunity for Kronk to really close the gap here. As you can see, he's also got the fastest lap by over a second.
Yeah, fastest lap as well, so he's gained a lot of time due to that moment, and Delta Wolf kind of left off the hook there as well, let off there. Now let's see if Kronk can try and put the pressure on, but Delta Wolf's gonna try hold it, and Vessel has retired, and safety car's out.
Vessel is out. Let's try and see what's going on here, and he's right there. Ooh.
Luckily he ghosted. That scared us.
And Richard looking a little bit anxious off of that. I was surprised that he committed to it and he didn't bow out. But yeah, full course safety car is now out in force following the retirement of Vessel on turn 27.
So safety car then is out. Shane's diving it into the pit lane. First of all to service penalty, I'm guessing, and then also to put on a set of the medium compound of tires, the yellow ball compound of tires there for Shane. So we're still in the early stages. We've had a virtual safety car. Now we have the full safety car out then to neutralize things. So it'll be Delta Wolf, then it'll be Kronk and Shaniac, the top 3, unless they pit as well. But we've already had plenty of chaos and dramatic moments here. So it'll be interesting to see when we go back to green flag racing conditions, what happens on the restarts.
I questioned earlier about Ghost and Shane Richards' strategies, but I've got to say, serving the penalties early, I did glance my mind about the drive-through penalty, so good call on that one. But serving those penalties early has now given both of them a golden opportunity. They've caught up to the rest of the field with a clean slate and with clean rubber. They have definitely afforded themselves, through some clean and smart plays, an opportunity to get back in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So serving that early did work, and of course they would have to serve it anyway because they have to do it in 3 laps. But yeah, it has worked out doing it early for them, of course, and that means now they're penalty and they're penalty free, and of course that's one less pit stop to make as well, because of course their one was a drive-through. So that's great stuff for them. So they're now equal with everyone else, and they can try attack. So Delta Wolf, who was your race leader earlier on, now finds himself in 5th as Johnny's Bananas gets ahead, but it seems like he's going to give back that position because to the safety car line first was Delta Wolf. So he'll be in 4th on the new set of soft compound of tires.
Yeah, we did technically come back out onto the track surface before Johnny's Bananas was ahead, so he is entitled to that P4 position, and it's a good sportsmanship shown by Johnny to give that back. He would have got a penalty for it anyway, so it's not worth running that fight and maybe appearing it to be removed, but yeah, not worth that fight. We can see everyone now bunching up behind the safety car for at least the next couple of laps.
Yep, so they'll all be bunching up, and then we'll be getting ready to go back to racing here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. So we're just going to be in a bit of a waiting phase for everyone else to catch up. And then when everyone else is catched up, then we'll be all set and ready to go racing once again and decide the end or and then start seeing where the drivers trying to see if the drivers how their different strategies are playing out. Of course, you've got the old soft, you've got the mediums as well, and then you've got Delta Wolf on the new soft, so we'll surely be on the attack. So we're going to get plenty of action coming our way, and drivers moving forwards, drivers moving backwards as well. So there's going to be plenty of action all the way throughout the field. So we're going to be in for a very, very exciting restart here. When we do get going, everyone is catched up, bar Shane, who is 40 seconds back, but he should be able to hopefully catch up on this lap.
Yeah, well, I do worry a little bit for Shane because he is, granted, making up the gap again, but not at the pace that I necessarily would see as a safe one. By the time he gets back under this projected pace, it's going to be... Oh, saying that, though, what's happening here? We've seen a... Is that a bit of a trade on the positions?
So Knights was in the lead. He dropped down to third. He's retaken second. So, yeah, I'm confused what's happened there as well, because he was in the lead, then dropped to third, and then has retaken second as Rare Ghost has let him through, I think, again. So, unsure what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the game has maybe decided that there was some false illegal overtake going around, or one of them made a mistake. Not really sure, but what I do know is that everyone, regardless, is going to be bunched up. So, the game has a way of its working. It has a mind of its own at times. But when it comes down to racing, the drivers are going to show who really belongs in what position. That's the stance I take, at least. And even if the game may have a little hiccup, or may put you in a sort of bad position or wrong position, or like we see in some other league races, we see the illegal blocking coming up in qualifying, which means we have to have a lobby restart. When push comes to shove, the drivers know how to put the pedal to the metal, and they know how to race.
They do indeed as well then. And Shane's arrived to the back, so hopefully the safety car will be in at the end of this lap as Shaniac and Knights once again momentarily exchanging positions just for a second, though. Knight back behind. Safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap, so we are about to go racing once more.
Here we go. This is going to be Shaniac's call, because Shaniac's going to be the one to decide how everyone leaves this lap and goes into full race conditions. You can see Gronk is right there. He's breathing down Shaniac's neck here, so when is he going to decide it's time to go? Curiously, Kronk heading into the pits after the safety car has come in. So he's going to drop right to the back of the field, and Shaniac is going to be getting away very nicely indeed. A little bit of battling going to be happening right now in the mid-pack. Johnny's Bananas up into P4, trying to chase down Delta Wolf in P3. Rare Ghost is going to be in that second spot as well, trying to fend off Delta Wolf, as they're going to be in a superior tyre. Rare Ghost on the mediums that they have kept more or less since the start of the race, but it's not going to be playing out in their favour thus far. A little bit of a snap coming from Rare Ghost. Delta Wolf breathing down his neck, fighting hard. Let's see where he can go. Goes to the right, tries to push a little bit more of the pace on, gets it out to the edge of the circuit. Very tight squeeze there from the two of them. They're both going to go side by side, and a little bit of lack of confidence on the throttle. That's going to give Delta Wolf P2.
Delta Wolf able to move up to P2, so that was great stuff by him on traction, and Shaniac's gone off the road, and he's rejoined, and he's
dangerous rejoin there. Very dangerous.
That was a dangerous rejoin there, because he came into the path of other cars there. So Delta Wolf now finds himself in the lead. But yeah, that was a very dangerous there.
Can't say I approved of that move personally, because that could have gone very badly. Luckily, quick reactions coming out from the other drivers saved that from turning into another SC incident. Kronk out 30 seconds behind the rest of the field. Shaniac just behind, and Shane Richard having a key opportunity, which he has taken. He's going to make the move on Johnny's Bananas. He's gone from back of the field and in that point of no return to now sitting on the podium.
Yep, let's see though. Johnny's Bananas can try fight back on Shane, and he's hit the wall slightly as well there. So that's not what he wants into turn one. Is he going to be late on the brakes? He's going to throw
Big
a nose in there.
contact.
That one wasn't going to pay off, and he's sent spinning.
Big contact,
Oh.
and he goes into the inroad and loses his front wing too. So Vessel
Red flag.
and Shane Richards out as well. A red flag has happened, folks. The session has been stopped because we've lost almost 50% of the field.
Right, interesting stuff then. So not even a safety car, red flag then. We're going to that. As it all happened very quickly, but yes, so red flag. I wasn't even aware that that was on, but yes, it is on then. And we're going to be having a red flag and getting ready to go racing once again with another standing start.
Yep, so that, folks, for those who are not aware, the red flag has been triggered, and that means after a brief reload screen, that is going to see the drivers go to a standing start while the track is cleared of all stranded vehicles, all debris, any carbon fiber strewn across the track, and then we'll be, in just a few seconds, we'll be going back trackside once again, and here we are. Once again, standing start. Fresh hards for 3 drivers, Rare Ghost on the soft. And that is going to be, once again, we're getting away, we're going, and this is time for the drivers, albeit with no sound. There we go. Problem solved. Standing start for them all, but Rare Ghost, despite being on the best tyre, has taken the worst hit out of all of them. I think he just didn't get away in time.
Yeah, I think there was many drivers who just couldn't get off the line really, really well. There was a very slow getaway by everyone in the field, really. So that was a bit of a weird start there, but here we go then. Let's see if Delta Wolf can try find his way through on Kronk.
No, he yields, or does he? He goes a little bit later. Goes for the attack. Oh, there's contact between the two. Kronk has been spun. And that is going to be a front wing lost for Delta Wolf there. Not going to be happy, I imagine, on that one. Luckily, no damage for the victim.
Yep, luckily, no damage indeed as well then. But let's see if Rare Ghost can try to take the lead. Chaniac's all over the road. And both of these two drivers battling for the position. Chaniac tiny bit wide. So let's see if Rare Ghost can try and move through now down towards 27 and take the lead.
He's going to look for any space he can find. To the right, to the left now. Take it back now, y'all. 2 drag races this time. And through turn 26 and taking it to the edge of the course. Luckily, no squeezing against the wall to be found here. Rare Ghost has got the move, but it's not going to stick just yet. Shaniac's not taking it without a fight. You can see him. He goes a little bit more to the inside to try and pressure on Rare Ghost right to the apex there. They're both going to come together almost, and that is going to be Shaniac, despite his best efforts, just realizing he has got 2 compounds weaker in terms of grip. Rare Ghost can really lean into those softs in a way that Shaniac can't.
This is really some frenetic action right now as well. Some chaotic and crazy action taking place, but Rare Ghost able to move ahead and move through with a 1-second gap on top of that. Delta Wolf into the pit lane, putting on a set of the medium compound of tires. You have Kronk continuing in P3, Rare Ghost in the lead, though Shaniac in second, and it's still all going to change around because Rare Ghost softs will not last the distance, and also we've seen him make a few mistakes so far, so let's hope that we aren't going to get any more from him and he's able to continue on. And it's actually Shaniac who's made a mistake.
Yeah, Shaniac is going to be dropping off in a big way, so luckily no extended flag or safety car or VSC coming out, but yeah, big time loss for him there, few crucial seconds. I'm keeping my eye on Kronk here, just because despite being dealt a bad hand in the early stages of this restart, he has got an opportunity to make it work, because Delta's out of the picture now, 30 seconds behind. Mediums are good, but not 30 seconds recovery good. Hards are going to be the tyre that you want to be on. You can take these to the end of the race stint, no problem. So he's going to lean on that strategy, and provided Shaniac is able to be reeled in within any time between now and lap 25, Kronk has good chance of winning this. Rare Ghost going a little bit off the beaten path with the soft tyres, but he isn't making up the gap to make it viable when you factor a pit stop in.
Indeed then, lap 12 out of 25, and that's Shaniac who's run incredibly wide. and has lost even more time to make the gap. 6 seconds to Regos being able to pull away slightly due to a few mistakes coming in by Shaniac that are really costing him right now at this stage, and they're all right now just trying to keep it in a straight line, and a lot of them struggling right now all over the road. So hopefully we're going to be able to get some more action from now all the way till the end of this race, and hopefully we're going to be able to keep everyone in this race.
Yeah, everyone's want to keep their neck in a little bit, because we've had enough chaos to where a red flag was called, and after that, no driver is going to want to push the boat out too much in terms of attacking moves. However, as we just saw Kronk go over a little piece of carbon that was left on the track, I assume from an earlier issue, by Shaniac ahead. Oh no, I believe that was actually Delta Wolf's front wing before he got it replaced. But point stands, Kronk has really made up some good time here. He's done excellently. VSC, though, has been called. Reason unknown. Delta Wolf, actually, yeah, Delta Wolf has once again lost his front wing, and it must be a point in the track where he cannot reasonably be taken away by the stewards. So the VSC has been called to control the situation.
Yep, so we have another little neutralization of the race as well then. So the virtual safety car is out onto the circuit. No safety car or red flag. It's a virtual safety car. All drivers are still running in this one, so it must be a little bit of debris somewhere on the circuit that someone has lost the front wing, and that is why we have the virtual safety car out on lap number 13 out of 25 right now at the moment. Your order currently, Regos is continuing to pull away because Shaniac is making quite a few mistakes so far in this race, and you have Delta Wolf who has dived it into the pit lane.
Yeah, don't forget as well that when it comes to the virtual safety car, you have to respect the Delta, but that is your only rule. If drivers behind you are making mistakes, you can still absolutely peel away from them and get even more of a gap. If another driver makes a mistake under the VSC, they're going to still be under the Delta and still be driving legally, but you've got yourself a free advantage by keeping it right within that sort of second, well, I think it's to say 5 seconds slower per lap average. If you keep it within there, then you are fine. You are legal, and if you are making advantages by products of your opponent's failures, and Kronk is out! Yeah, what's happened to Kronk?
He crashed into the back of Shaniac, who was incredibly slow to the corner, so... Right, so that's Kronk then out of the race, so we're now down to 3 drivers.
Unfortunately, can't get a replay on that or anything.
Yep. So, lap 14 out of 25. But yeah, it just seemed like he hit the back of Shaniac when they went into turn number 22. Shaniac's always been slow through that part of the lap. Knights, Kronk wasn't really expecting him to be that slow through the corner. Took it at his normal pace, and he crashed into the back and could not react to Shaniac taking the corner much more slower.
I cannot imagine the frustration he's feeling right now. He made up that much amount of time. He kept his nose clean. And throughout all of the racing today, he's done a good job. And that is how his race ends up. I'm going to say, leaving the session, he's not even sticking around. And I honestly do feel for him. P4 is still the result, but yeah, it hurts to see something like that happen to him.
Definitely does as well. So, really does hurt. But lap 14 out of 25 then. Regos continuing to lead. We're down to 3 drivers. So we've lost more than half of the grid. And, well, let's hope then we don't lose any more drivers in this one. And let's hope that we are able to get a good ending as well. Regos continuing, though, to perform very well at the front of the field. He's being able to keep his car pointing in the right direction and also at a decent pace, but Shaniac really struggling right now, and he's been getting close to hitting the wall many times.
Yeah, certainly cutting it a little bit fine at points of the track, and that's not an ideal strategy. At this point, everyone has got at least about 15 to 20 seconds between each car. So playing hyper aggressively is not going to do you any favours. Like in the instance of Shaniac, I would bank on Rare Ghost going into the pits, bringing himself back into proximity anyway, and so I don't need to push. I don't need to be aggressive. I'd get that front wing replaced, because it's clear it's affecting his pace. We've just seen him bow out very wide on the track. And then you can look even further back and see Delta Wolf. He's going to be a driver who has put in some good work today, but regardless has not had a very good race. And the problem here is now he's going to have a lot of work to do, even more than he had previously, to try and bring it back here.
Indeed, then. Still, they all are making their way through at the moment, and we're just currently waiting to get all the way till the end. Rear Ghost might need to make another pit stop as well. So we're just currently waiting to see how this one's going to finish and ticking off the laps at this stage. We currently are, and Rear Ghost could even make another pit stop, but probably have the gap on Shaniac due to Shaniac making quite a few mistakes right now, and we have yellow flags out.
Yellow flag briefly out. And
That would have been Shaniac, I think.
I think that is Shaniac, because you look at the time differences. So he's making mistakes left, right, and centre. And that does put concern into my mind, because at this rate, they could see Delta Wolf. If this level of mistakes continues, Delta Wolf could be reeling in.
He definitely could as well. Could Delta Wolf, he could be trying to get involved as well then. Right at the end of this one, lap 16 out of 25 then, still ticking off the laps right now, but Shaniac just trying to make it through, and all of the drivers right now are just going to be wanting to get to the end, just trying to score the points. If they retire, then of course they'll get 0, but if they finish, then they of course are going to be able to score, so they're just trying to finish right now. Will Delta Wolf possibly also maybe possibly being able to get second if he continues at that pace? So they're just all trying to now make their way all the way till the end without any issues.
Yeah, so we know the narratives, we know the story for some of these cars. Obviously, Rare Ghost, as it stands, has been a big winner in all of this. He started right at the bottom and has currently found his way to the winning position. Shaniac's gone up 2, and Delta Wolf's gone down 2. Of course, he was the one to set the pole time, so he's got work to do on his end. But Rare Ghost is now in the pits, and he's going to make it his second stop. No wonder Delta Wolf is so far behind. I just saw on the indicator 4 stops to his name. But there you go, that's going to be Rare Ghost now onto a set of mediums.
Yep, so Rare Ghost then making his way onto the set of mediums to end this race as well, and he should be clear of Shaniac, who has had even more mistakes at tire number 22 on that lap, and it seems like Shaniac's also going to be diving it into the pit lane.
Yeah, we're not quite within the lines, but regardless, into the pit lane very, very slowly. And there you go. He's going to be jumping in. I'm not sure if he's going to be switching tyres, but no doubt he's going to have to get a new front wing here. Looks like he's going to be going onto a set of medium compound. So everyone now is on the mediums till the end of the race.
Yep, absolutely as well then. And Delta Wolf manages to, of course, get through then and move up to second position in this race as well. So we are currently just let's see then if Rare Ghost is going to be able to hang on. Everything seems like it is, unless he does make a major mistake and gets a lot of front wing damage, or even does retire. But everything else other than that should be going his way today. Delta Wolf won't have enough time to close down the gap. Shaniac has been making plenty of mistakes, so I don't even think he'll be able to get onto Delta Wolf. He's really struggling. Doesn't seem like it's a circuit right now, a very challenging circuit, so it seems like it's the one that he's really, really struggling at, is Shaniac. So maybe he might be able to put on a little challenge if Delta Wolf has some issues, but Delta Wolf also has been driving very, very well indeed, and of course he started on pole, so we know the pace is there for Delta Wolf.
Yeah, we know the pace is there, and while they do have the pace, a lot of these drivers do have pace on tap. It's an old adage, isn't it? To finish first you have to finish. And for half the field here, that is not to be tonight. So to the 3 drivers that do remain, they have so far won the battle of attrition. And that is going to mean points. Valuable points in their season, regardless of what way you slice it. Fortunately, those DNFing are not going to be taking home much of any spoils when it comes to this round. Future rounds may have further opportunities, chances to claw it back, because the championship can still be very much up in the air. With the looks of how things have gone, just a couple of rounds can be the separator between bottom of the grid and in the top spots.
It definitely could, indeed as well. So every single point is definitely going to matter then, and we are just making our way then into the final stages of this race, and it's Rego still making his way in the lead on the medium compound of tyres, and then Delta Wolf in second. Chiniak and Delta, they're just bringing it home in points, of course, as well. So they've got a few more laps to navigate, and then that will be them scoring plenty of points. But right now it seems like we're just going to be finishing like this unless something chaotic does happen at the end. Now, let's see then if we are going to... well, do you think we're going to get... how do you think the real-life Australian Grand Prix is going to go tomorrow?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it too much. I know the main talking point has been what's happened with the Williams. The Williams
Yes.
team, of course, not being in the best place financially, as we know. But I have to wonder, surely having a spare chassis would have been one of your top priorities, because you know how easy it is to make a crucial mistake and for drivers to, well, to put their car in a wall. Granted, you want to be able to repair it, but you had to have that safety net.
I mean, they literally binned it last year into the wall in the race with Albon. So it's such a challenging circuit. So Delta Wolves dived it into the pit lane for the soft. So Shaniak's going to be promoted to second. But yeah, it's ridiculous that you wouldn't bring it to a race where there is a chance to that you would retire. And also with Logan Sargent, he does from time to time find the barrier. And if we look at all the drivers on the grid, he is one of the more likely drivers too. So it is a bit unbelievable that they didn't even bring a spare one.
Well, you have to look at it from the perspective of business. The way that I'm looking at it is it foreseeable that a driver is going to have an incident here? And you can base that on a variety of factors. You can base it on the track. You can base it on your drivers. You can base it on just your history at that circuit, prior performances, whatever you like. Characteristics of the car, I could go on. But is it foreseeable that we could have seen at least one major collision? Yes, I think it honestly was. So
Yes.
it then comes to the stage of, well, 2 questions you have to ask. Is obviously one, if it is needed to have a spare chassis, which it was in this case. But also, the thing that perplexes me more, and while I'll have immense respect for Logan Sargent being a team player in that regard, no doubt he wouldn't have been happy about it, but if that was his choice, if he made the choice to step back rather than being told that he had to relinquish his car, immensely massive amounts of respect to him. But you can't help but escape the lingering feeling that Sargent is being punished for Albon's mistakes.
Yeah. And they're ruining his confidence a lot as well. Basically saying that we don't trust you.
Yeah, and the mental game of a driver, league racing or real life, is very important. It's why we see, when you look at some of the top tiers of league racing, the racecraft starts to converge into the same place when you get to the sort of the F3s, the F2s, the tier 2s, etc. What separates the drivers is the mind games and the ability to sort of have control over themselves and to sort of duke out, play the mind games on their opponents. Overestimate, underestimate their level of confidence, so to speak. If you don't have any confidence as a driver, you're going to make callous mistakes, you're going to second guess yourself, you're going to be slow. And a situation like that is not going to help you.
Indeed. Not going to help you. So with Williams, lots of questionable decisions. It's really unbelievable. But let's see how Albon gets on, and if Albon crashes the car, then I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure that social media is going to be going absolutely wild about that one.
Yeah, and well, we're coming up to the final laps of this race here now, and everyone has mostly found their own space. So we've got 46 seconds between Rare Ghost and Shaniac. Delta Wolf down with a penalty of his own, but on soft tyres. He could maybe get the fastest lap and set a bit of damage control. But right now, everyone's in their own space. I don't see many positional moves being made.
Yeah, I don't really think we're going to be getting any moves at all in this one. So this is how we're going to finish as well. So lap 21 out of 25 then, and Rare Ghost is into the pit lane, but everything should be okay for him. He'll be able to come out and continue on. Will Rare Ghost, but yeah, they're gonna finish in these positions. But well done, of course, for all three of these drivers to keep it out there on the circuit, and also keeping it on the road without finding the barrier or getting in too much contact. And they will, of course, walk away with points after this one, unlike the drivers who have retired. Unfortunately, today, hopefully, we'll have more finishers next time out as well. But we're on lap number 22 of this race. We are in the final few laps then, and now it's absolutely about ticking off these laps, these final few laps. So Rare Ghost then, it would have looked like after qualifying that it was going to be a terrible race coming up for him, but he was able to keep it clean, keep it on the road. He's going to get his reward, and he's going to walk away with a victory as well. So that's going to be great stuff by Rare Ghost.
Well, this could put him in the podium positions for the Drivers' Championship this season, so he's certainly going to walk away happy provided he can make it home. And now with the soft tyres adorned to his black and red car, this does mean he can also potentially get that fastest lap. And like we were saying before, fastest lap is going to not only give you a little bit of a boost, but is also going to deny your opponents. And it's just as much about that as it is getting points of your own. So let's see how he does here. Let's stick on board.
Yeah, let's continue watching him then, as that's going to be the only change unless Shaniac makes a lot of mistakes and Delta Wolf can try and gain. He'll have a penalty at the end of the race, but if he can try and have a little attack right at the end, but it'll still be a long shot, and we'll need a lot of mistakes to come in by Shaniac. On to lap number 23 we go, and Rare Ghost continuing to make his way through, of course, on the soft compound side. Just is going to push it all the way till the end.
Yeah, and this is where he can really afford to push it. He's maybe been lifting and coasting a little bit, trying to conserve his tyres throughout the course of the race, but now is where he can really open up the taps. You've got 3 laps to go. He currently leads the pack by over 25 seconds, so he has got the room to push. And even if he makes a little bit of a mistake, granted, hopefully it's not fatal, he has got the room to do that, to push, to get that fastest. He's already got a personal best first sector. And if he can keep that momentum through, he's going to have a very flamboyant finish.
Yep, so he's just going to push and push, but of course he cannot afford a major mistake as well, where a tyre comes off. It's only, he can afford a minor one, like a front wing, maybe a little bit of a front wing, the side end plate coming off, but anything bigger than that will definitely be what he doesn't want in this race, because he's on his way right now, about to go on to the penultimate lap of this race. So he's nearly home, he's nearly there, and is about to take race victory then here in Jeddah. Has 2 more laps to go, has Rare Ghost, as Delta Wolf closing slightly, but there's but with the penalty also, he's not really going to have much of an opportunity, as Rare Ghost sets the fastest lap of the race.
There you go, 30.3. As we were just saying, he's going to be the one to take away the fastest lap point, unless Delta Wolf can really pull something out of the bag. Now, he is going to have a fight of his own because he's trying to close back to the back of Shaniac. However, he has got that 5-second penalty, as you mentioned. So, regardless of what he does here, he is going to have that 5 seconds to his name, which is going to mean that whatever he does on the track may as well be nullified. So I wonder what his strategy is going to be here. He can still get it on track. That will be a sort of pride moment. But is it going to be worth it? Or is he just going to bring it home safe?
So that is going to be the question indeed. Is he just going to bring it home safe, or is he going to put on a little bit of a show for us right at the end of this one? But Rare Ghost then continuing, about to go on to the final lap. Has been a great race by him, and also to keep his head cool and to keep in there after a bit of a disappointing qualifying. For he couldn't find the lap at the beginning. He was able then to, in the race, he was able to deal with all of the different stages with the safety car, red flag restarts, not getting involved in too much contact with all of the other drivers. So it's going to be a brilliant race for Rare Ghost. He's about to make his way onto the final lap of this race. 27 more corners for him to navigate until he will see the flag first here in Jeddah.
So he can bring it home until he can make a happy stand on that podium. I think winning a race, or running a good race at least, it has three core pillars: driving fast, driving clean, and staying out of trouble. Rare Ghost, throughout all of this, despite some of the chaos that's happened around him, for the most part has managed to balance all three fairly well. He hasn't had to go into the pits too often. He's kept his nose clean throughout most of what's happened on the track. He hasn't got involved in any major incidents, and this has resulted in him getting 30 plus seconds off to Shaniac, who himself is going to have a little bit of a difficult time on his hands if Delta Wolf chooses to go for a last lap push. But there you go. Rare Ghost, no doubt, is going to be pretty happy about how it went tonight.
He's going to be really, really happy then. He's made his way all the way through, then ticking off every single corner. We'll be enjoying these moments, the final few moments here in Jeddah, and he is about to take race victory then. In after qualifying, he wouldn't have thought that he would be here, but he is going to be here, and he's only got one straight and then a little run up to the line to go until he can call himself the winner here of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
And this is going to be a race to remember for Ghost. He's going to be able to now stand on the podiums, or the at least P3 for the Drivers' Championship. So head high as he comes up to the line. Rare Ghost is going to take the checkered flag and win round 4 of WCCS. And a few more drivers are going to be watching from the sidelines, but 2 other cars have yet to make it home. 2 other cars are locked horns. Now I wonder, is Delta going to go for a move here, even if he's going to get put back anyway? Don't think so. I think they're going to stay behind. Let's see, last minute dash. Both of them using up every inch of their batteries. And there you go. That is going to be time. Rare Ghost takes the checkered flag in a very happy display. And he's straight back into the pit lane, glitching through one of the paddock pit crew.
Oh, fantastic. Driver of the day going to Rare Ghost. I can agree with the game for once on that one as well. So, great stuff. By the top 3, your only finishers in this race. A lot of other drivers, more than half of the grid, retiring. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens next time out. But it was a really interesting race there.
Yep, and that is now where we wrap things up. So let's take a look at our boards before anything else. So let's take a look and see. And Rare Ghost is going to be the driver who dominated tonight. 31.7 seconds clear of Shaniac with the fastest lap to boot. 3 stops under his belt, but no signs of stopping now. He's going to take 26 points home, and he's going to be very happy with himself for tonight's performance. Shaniac is still at the top of the boards, and with another 18 points to their name, is going to remain secure in the top spot of the championship. Getting a little bit of space to some of the other drivers here, and as you look at the rest of the field, you can see the amount of DNFs that we had throughout. Kronk is not going to be moving as he did DNF and is currently remaining P5 in the championship, with Shane Richards, Johnny's Bananas and Vessel joining him in the DNFs and back in the paddock. Delta Wolf, though, he's going to get a little bit of points. He's going to put himself in a very happy place after that.
Definitely is as well then, but good race from Jeddah. I'd say better than Portugal in my opinion, absolutely for sure. A lot more drama, a lot more chaos, and a bit more battling as well.
Yeah, and a race that drivers can be proud of if you made it to the end. Even if you didn't, the fact that you're coming out here tonight, you gave it a shot, and you went racing, that matters above all else. So hold your head high, whether you made it to the finish or not, whether you didn't make it, or you made it just shy. But then that is where we are going to be wrapping things up, folks. So I don't think anyone's sort of really in a place to come and chat to us in the commentary box, because nobody. I think they're just sort of debating some of the incidents that went down in the race. So we're going to leave that there. Of course, you can see the calendar on screen and where we're headed to next. On the 30th of March, in a week's time, same time, we are going to be headed to COTA, Circuit of the Americas. Quality track that it is. It's going to be one to look forward to. Opinions on COTA, Amy?
I think definitely a really, really interesting circuit, which will hopefully deliver us with some fantastic action.
And that is where we are going to be wrapping up, folks. So take it easy. Take it nice and fun. It's been a good race weekend here at WCCS, and we will see you same time next week. Keep it here. Of course, join us, because we'd love to have you. And we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.